So let me guess, you're looking to move to the Charlotte, North Carolina area, but you don't want to live in Charlotte. In fact, you want to live in one of the best towns on the outskirts of Charlotte. Well, then this video is for you. We're going to learn about everything Weddington, North Carolina. Weddington, North Carolina is one of the top 5 most affluent towns in the Charlotte region. And I'm going to tell you everything there is to know about this little town of Weddington and why people are flocking to live there. And be sure to stay tuned to the very end, because there are some little known facts about Weddington that may put the icing on the cake for you selecting your next favorite town. If you're looking for everything Charlotte, North Carolina, and the upstate of South Carolina, the good, the bad, and everything in between, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and be the first to know about all the changes coming to the Charlotte, North Carolina region. I'm 𝗖𝗁, your Charlotte, North Carolina real estate expert, and we get calls, texts, emails, Zoom invites every single day from people just like you looking to move to the Charlotte, North Carolina area. So if that's you, drop into the description below. All their contact information is there. And whether you're planning on making the move in 9 days or 90 days, moving across the world, across the country, or just across town, we're here to make your move everything you want it to be. So let's dive into everything Weddington, North Carolina. First off, Weddington sits just to the south of Charlotte, North Carolina, right underneath that 485 belt line, as you can see here. But if we go a little bit further out, I want to show you where it sits in the state of North Carolina. So as you can see, Weddington sits just to the south there. It is about 3.5 hours from Wilmington, 3.5 hours from Myrtle Beach, and 3.5 hours from Charleston, all of the major beaches in the area. Now, with that also being said, you are a very short drive up to the mountains, either about 2, maybe an hour and a half up into, right up here, into Lenoir and Boone, and 2 hours to Asheville. So if you're an Asheville fan or you like to go up to the mountains, this is a great spot for you to be wanting to live because it gives you easy access. Now, along with that, if we take a closer look, it's also only about a 2-hour drive from Raleigh and about an hour and a half from Greensboro, give or take, hour and 15 maybe. In addition, it's only about 2 hours from Fayetteville. So you're right in a great area, just as the rest of Charlotte is. It's a really good location with easy access to everything. Now, for recreational purposes and just for a little bit of fun, we have amazing lakes. So you are just 25 minutes from Lake Wylie, which sits to the south right here. You are about 35 minutes from Mountain Island Lake. This lower side of Lake Norman right here, you're probably about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, depends upon what traffic looks like, to get into the lake, which is really not bad, especially if you're going to make a day of it. Now, as I mentioned, it sits to the south side of Charlotte. Now, Charlotte as a whole, we've got a lot of major thoroughfares. You've got 485 that circles around, I-77, which goes directly through. Here's your 485 belt that goes all the way around. In addition to that, we've also got I-85 that cuts up that way. So 3 very major interstates. Now, when you're taking a look at the Weddington area, which is right here, your main thoroughfares that you're going to be on a regular basis are going to be very simple. 485, you're probably going to be on every day. You may or may not be coming up 74. You're going to be on 16 a great deal, as well as this road right here, 521. This is also known as Johnston Road. Now, another road that most people don't think about is this one that kind of parallels this 485 belt right here. This is called Pineville-Matthews Road right here. It's also known as 51. Pineville-Matthews Road has a ton of shopping and dining and parks and recreation all alongside it. So this is an actual pretty busy road right through here. It's also one of the main roads that you're going to access if you're going to go to the hospital. So one of the main hospitals right here, Atrium Health Pineville. For anybody who's having babies, I had my little one here. Was not planning on it, but we did. And it was a phenomenal experience. I would go back there in a heartbeat. Maybe not have a baby in a heartbeat, but I would definitely go back to that hospital. So when we're taking a look at the Weddington area, one of the things that I like to highlight first with anything is commute times. All right, commute times are pretty important for most folks. And I want to highlight some of the benefits of Weddington over some other areas for commutes. Now, this whole region right here, this south region of
Charlotte, from Ballantyne all the way down to Waxhaw and back up into Wesley Chapel. This is a very, very, very popular area of Charlotte. Now, in addition to that, you've got your average price points somewhere in the 700s for most of these areas, most of these regions in here. They're also the top 4 most affluent towns: Weddington, Marvin, Waxhaw, and Wesley Chapel. And because of it, you're going to see better schools, more expensive homes, yes, a little bit higher taxes, but only because, not because the tax rate is higher, just because the homes are more expensive. What you're also going to find are absolutely stunning properties. Waxhaw, Marvin, Weddington, and Wesley Chapel, you're going to see a lot of horse farms, a lot of equestrian. It is one of the prettiest drives coming down 16 as well as going through 84. I absolutely love it, and it's so pretty. So what's the benefit of Weddington over these other towns? Well, one of the biggest benefits is the location itself. As you can see, Weddington, which is outlined here a little bit, Weddington sits just under 45. So you can have the affluency, you can have the beautiful homes, you can have the location, that feel, that vibe, similar to what you might get down in Waxhaw without the drive. In fact, Waxhaw, if we take a look on the map, Waxhaw sits quite a bit farther south than Weddington. Look at that. And Waxhaw actually encompasses this entire area up and through here. So you could be driving an extra 15 to 20 minutes to get into your area of Waxhaw, depending upon where you live, south of Weddington. So for those that are doing a daily commute, especially into the city center, we've got major financial districts here in Charlotte. So City Center, SouthPark, and Ballantyne are 3 of the largest ones, followed by the 3rd largest one, which is right up here over in University City. So Wells Fargo has a pretty big location there. With that being said, depending upon where you're commuting to, if you're going anywhere towards the city, you could cut your commute by almost 15 to 20 minutes just by being in Weddington over some of these other towns further south of it. Even shorter than Wesley Chapel, because it's off to this east side here. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about commute times, because you can find some beautiful homes in Weddington, very similar to the ones that you're finding in Waxhaw, without the commute and with much better access to everything that you want, from shopping and dining to going out and playing golf. Now, of course, you're going to be a little bit closer to Uptown when you are versus Waxhaw or other areas. But one thing I want to point out is the actual commute time. So let's take a quick look. I'm filming this at a time that'll actually be a little bit slower with traffic, but it'll give you a pretty clear idea of what traffic might look like. So at the time that this is being filmed, it's about 6:30 in the evening, and as you can see, the traffic, you could get to Uptown in about 30 minutes. Now I'm gonna flip-flop this so you can see what it looks like to get home. And in fact, from Uptown, you can be home in about 32 minutes. So what about SouthPark? Well, if you're smack dab in the middle of Weddington, you've got about a 30-minute commute to get to SouthPark. And for our closest commute time, Ballantyne, one of the more popular areas in the region, you can get there in about 15 minutes. What that also means is you can also get to the mall and other such areas in about 15 minutes as well. So from a location standpoint, you are extremely close. Now, there's also some other advantages to the location. Yes, I mentioned hospitals a little while ago. You're about 15 minutes to the hospital as well. And in addition to that, let's see if we can scooch that around. So you're about 15 minutes to the hospital. But there are other urgent cares and centers down in this area as well. So you don't have to worry too much about hospital access. There is plenty around. So in speaking about hospitals, while yes, the Pineville Hospital is one of the larger ones, you've also got Atrium Health Emergency. You've got additional emergency centers in various areas around here. So you're only a few minutes from an emergency center. In addition to that, fire department and police department locations all nearby throughout the Weddington area. Now, as I mentioned, in this area, the median home price is about $730,000. With that being said, you're also going to find a median household income of about $190,000, give or take, based upon more recent census data. Now, along with that, one of the benefits that a lot of people find to this area is that it does have low crime rates. Now, this information comes from not only the data from CMPD as well as Union County Police Departments, but you can also find this on some of the crime stats at 𝗖cie.com, 𝗖cie.com. And you'll see that this region does have pretty low crime rates, which is a major attractor to a lot of people that are moving into the area. Now, another big reason why people are moving into the area, great schools. I hear this all the time from clients of mine. Hey, we want a beautiful home, but schools are our number one. Well, if that's you, then Weddington may be a town that you need to look into. Now, if we're taking a look at the location of the schools, we can zoom in right here. You can see we've got the Weddington Middle School as well as Weddington High School. They are pretty much side by side. The campuses are also quite beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and give you a satellite view of this. So right here we have the Weddington High School, obviously a fairly expansive campus right there. And over here we've got the Weddington Middle School. So Weddington Middle School and the elementary school. So everything is very easy to find, all very well put together. And as you can see, there is a bit of sharing when it comes to the football fields and the baseball and softball fields, etc. But that's because the school population is actually quite low in comparison to some of the other schools that you're going to find in Charlotte. They do actually have a fairly low student body population, which is what gives you some of those better grades, better ratings, is because you've got fewer students and more teachers. Now, aside from the Weddington High School, you've also got Marvin Ridge High School. Marvin Ridge is close by, and both of them, honestly, have very high ratings. So you've got two potential high schools, both with great ratings. So regardless of where you end up in Weddington, you're going to be in a phenomenal school district. So one of the downsides of living in Weddington, although it has phenomenal proximity to everything you could possibly want, it's very residential, and therefore you've got limited public transportation. Now, for most that live in the area, they don't mind because most homes have 1 to 2 vehicles on average. Charlotte is not as much of a commuter-friendly city from a public transportation standpoint anyway. Most people do drive their own vehicles. Now, while the infrastructure is being put in for this, one of the things that you're going to notice is a lack of that public transport, as well as a little bit of lack of infrastructure. What do I mean by that? The roads are going to need to be widened as things are expanding, which would be true for any town, any city, anywhere, but these expansions are already taking place. In fact, 485 right here is already starting to work on 2 additional lanes on each side, making them potentially 4 to 5 lanes wide in many areas on both sides. In addition to that, 16 is going to see some work being done to it, as well as some of the supporting roads around there. Now, one thing you will notice about Weddington, and I'm going to show this on a satellite view so you can see it, there is a lot of green space and wooded area. Do you notice this as we go through? There are some absolutely magnificent homes and magnificent developments, but a lot of green space. Now, one of the best parts about this is when you are driving through Weddington, it is beautiful. You've got tree-lined streets wherever you go, absolutely beautiful homes throughout. As you can see, it's everything is tree covered and lush. But one of the downsides of this, you don't have as much from a commercial standpoint. So you're not going to have as much shopping and dining and things of that nature right in the heart of Weddington. Weddington is actually very residential. So this whole area that you see in here that's circled, it's fairly residential. So you're not going to see a whole lot of shopping and dining. Now, not to worry, you still have your Harris Teeters and a Jersey Mike's and things like that. You know, whatever you need is there. Gas stations, you're not in the middle of nowhere. And because of the easy proximity to pop right up 16 into this area, which is technically Charlotte, you're only 5-minute drive right up the road, and boom, you're right up here to Whole Foods and Starbucks, etc. But in the actual town of Weddington, in the actual town out, lines, there's not a whole lot of commercial things going on. Now, while some people find this to be a major benefit because it keeps things nice and quiet and private, some people find it to be a bit of a nuisance because you do have to drive 10 minutes to a grocery store. Personally, from my own experience, things are all very close by. You're probably not even going to notice it, even if you look on a map and say, wow, that looks far. It's not far at all. In fact, if you're taking a look, yes, this is where shopping and dining is. If we come to the south side, though, you're going to notice right down here, we pop right into Wesley Commons. You've got a Target, you've got Chick-fil-A. Yes, we have Chick-fil-A. You've got anything you need on the south side as well. But as you notice, it's right in the outskirts. This one's called Wesley Chapel because technically it is in Wesley Chapel. So you're surrounded on all sides by everything you need. It's just not in the heart of the town itself. So in a nutshell, Weddington is one of the few towns in the Charlotte region that is still quiet, heavily residential, spread out, really great lot lines, luxury homes with reasonable prices, and the proximity to Charlotte with the schools that they have honestly makes Weddington a slam dunk. I've been shocked that there have been few people that have been looking in this area, but I have a feeling that it's starting to heat up as I've started to see more and more inquiries not wanting to be in Waxhaw and instead wanting a little bit more proximity to the city with still the Waxhaw feel. So if that's what you're looking for, this may be the town for you.
I hope you got value out of this video, and hopefully it helped you hone in a little bit closer into where you want to call home. Now, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, be sure to do so. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I really do answer all questions in the comments box. And as I mentioned before, if you are still not sure where you want to move and you need a little bit extra assistance, we are here for you. We get calls, texts, emails, Zoom invites every single day from people just like you looking to move to the Charlotte, North Carolina area. So if that's you, don't hesitate. Drop down into the description below. All of our contact information is there. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days across the world, across the country, or just across town, we're here to make your move exactly what you want it to be. So until next time, I look forward to showing you around town. So you're making the move. There's a lot of videos that you can be watching, like this one right here, or maybe even this one. Really either one of these, but honestly, watch both of them because they're gonna help you make the move. Go ahead, pick one. They're both really good.